Oh, yeah!
What's all the commotion, Mr. Code?
Judge, I think I finally fixed the teleporter.
Pull the other one.
No, really. Using multimodal reflective sorting combined with the Hooverian derivative and the horseshoe algorithm intertwined with the Stallionomics. You're not buying that, are you?
Nope.
Fine. I tightened a bolt or two and adjusted the actual teleporter program. So look, you just put the parameters in the computer and then you hit teleport. For testing purposes, I have it set to teleport me to the center of the bridge. Just input words to describe me and fire away.
If you say so.
Ha! See? It worked! Once again, I prove how amazing, smart, and good looking I am. See? It just takes a little perseverance and everything just works out. By the way, what parameters did you use? Let's see. Stallion in blue suit, and green mane, cynical jerk, with a big butt? Ah, yes, very amusing. Clearly, the teleporter still has some bugs in it. My flanks are rather shapely, thank you very much.
Let's try it again.
What? No,
Oh, come on, just
I'll
one.
type it
Come
in.
on, come on, let me in. Come on, come on,
Stop.
just gotta push the button. Come on, let me in.
Uh-oh. What did you do, Ray? All right, let's see what the parameters were. This could be bad. Okay, let's see. The parameters were blue pony with blue mane and a sword? Huh? And a bomb?
And that's why Make Your Mark Chapter 6 is,
Hi.
Wait, where am I? Have I finally achieved Alicornhood? Am I about to receive a horn? Yes! Finally, the princesses see my full potential! And is that a bomb?
Yeah.
Yes, I am Princess Celestia, and this is the weird ethereal Alicorn place thing where my most faithful student Twiggy ascended to Alicornhood. Can't you tell by the majesty and ethereal glow of this place? Ooh! And cost like 10 bits to get in.
Well, I didn't really bring anything. My wallet's back at my house, and,
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah, no. Too bad. We were going to make you king of the Alicorns. We had a big celebration planned with like cakes and drinks and presents and party hats. But I guess that will all just go to waste now. Although I suppose that sword and tunic will do, and
Oh, knock it off. Sorry about that. I am the judge. This jerk that stands beside me is Mr. Mastercode. And you are?
Starstrike. Nice to, meet you, Judge and Mastercode. So seriously, are we like on a Star Trek film set or something?
Nope. We're actually in the deep recesses of space.
Whoa! I can see my socks from here. So, can you send me back home? I've got dinner waiting, plus I've got another script to write about tearing apart more stuff for Make Your Mark. Plus, this whole place is kind of creepy. So, can you help me out?
Well, much like Make Your Mark, the teleporters contrive to only finish after a lengthy MLP discussion, so you're kinda stuck with us for a while.
It's a staple of our show.
I guess I have no choice. But still, that's dumb.
Not as dumb as some pony who doesn't carry their wallet with them.
But, no, you are!
You are.
I know you are, but what am I?
No, you are.
Yeah, well, at least I don't have a big butt.
That's it.
Well, time to drop the hammer. I mean gavel. Whatever.
My brains feel like pumpkin seeds in a potato.
Granddad, you ran another stop sign.
You two done?
Yes.
Good. Then I'll see you in the courtroom. And get that bomb out of here. That thing is dangerous. But hey, look on the bright side. At least the teleporter works better.
Hey, you're right. I win. Oh. Objection! Long Long after G4 concluded its series run a few years ago, there was fear that the fandom would completely stagnate and the show's lasting power forgotten. But even after all this time, there's a reason why Friendship is Magic is still actively discussed and celebrated today, with its skilled creators propelling it from a rudimentary kids show to an iconic and amazing show. The great characters, the rich world building, the many fantastical creatures and villains that inhabit Equestria, the memorable songs and music along with some great animation, creating a fantastic show that entertained fans of all ages. And its conclusion was nothing short of amazing, emotional, and oh so satisfying.
Then came the rise of G5, a new generation, a sequel to the show that we all know and love. The movie was well received by fans for its stunning animation, interesting characters, and good humor. It created many fascinating and interesting mysteries in regards to what all happened between the events of G4 and G5. Everyone was excited to see more of this gorgeous animation, more of Hitch being a competent but wonderfully flawed leader, more of Sunny continuing her father's research, answers as to what happened to Twilight, who created the crystals, and what it meant for Sunny to be an alicorn.
Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Then at long last, the G5 main flagship series Make Your Mark premiered, and it was not good. And unfortunately, that trend of disappointment continued pretty much throughout the whole 6-chapter series, with each chapter continually getting worse with every single release. Thus, with all that build-up, we arrive to the subject of today's video, that being why this show failed to capture the magic and intrigue of Friendship is Magic, discussing what exactly held this series back from its full potential. Now, without further ado, let's get into why MLP Generation 5's Make Your Mark ultimately failed. Lack of character growth. One of the main aspects that made Friendship is Magic so great was its three-dimensional main cast. Throughout the 9th series run, we got to see the girls learn various morals that helped them grow as characters, increasing their character depth and making them all the more interesting. Most notably, Twilight, the introverted bookworm, made friends, became a princess, and eventually ended up ruling all of Equestria, utilizing the knowledge of all the friendship lessons and adventures she went on with her friends. Now we go to our main cast from Make Your Mark. In G5, the majority of our main cast never really had any arcs, and had little character development. Let's start off with Pip. She already had little exposure in the movie, and her only real contribution in said movie was her offering advice to Sunny in DDR. "You hear that, Sunny? Feel the rhythm, take you over. Yay, I'm helping." Otherwise, she was just the social media pop princess of Zephyr Heights. In this series, she is still the social media pop princess and... okay, eventually she realized the importance of living in the moment rather than recording for content, and got to see her organizational skills in Bridal Woodstock, but no real significant growth otherwise, or anything that really stood out as an interesting character trait.
After she accomplished the great task of being in the movie, a lot of people were wanting more depth for this character in the show. And to be fair, we did get that. But when your starting point is princess pop star who likes singing and social media, the bar isn't exactly set very high. The depth we did manage to get from the show, though, is the following.
I actually like taking time to be pampered. It's my favorite thing. Right after singing, spooky stories, and selfies.
Well, there was one other thing. Her relationship with Zip. One of the best episodes in the show was Portrait of a Princess. This episode did a lot to build on the characters, show some serious conflict between them, and had a great song on top of that. But sadly, this was the peak for these two, and we never really got another episode like this throughout the rest of the series. Not just for Pip and Zip, but any of the characters.
Moving right along to the other royal sister, Zip, who is literally the only one who cares about the plot, trying to solve mysteries, caring about the stability of magic in Equestria, and overall, actually doing stuff to uncover information about the great new threat of Opaline. I use great threat ironically, but we'll get back to her later. Anyway, Zip is truly the main protagonist of this series over Sunny, with how much more she's involved with the overall plot than the pseudo-alicorn mare. Yet towards the end of the series, she really doesn't receive much growth, becoming stagnant in her position, and her propensity for investigations became repetitive and annoying, especially when Misty comes into the picture. Chapter 1 also established that Zip would ultimately become her mother's successor and rule as Queen of Zephyr Heights, which does set up a nice arc for her, where similar to Twilight, we would see her grow through her various adventures and learn not only how to become a wiser mare, but also learn how to rule more larger groups of ponies, eventually ruling the entire province. And yeah, we do see the deduction and logic element that can assist in becoming a queen, but there really isn't anything in this whole 6-chapter run that really shows off her royalty aspect to successfully rule Zephyr Heights. Maybe if we had scenes of her organizing large groups of ponies or small cities to help protect and save them, then I can see it. But otherwise, the arc just never reaches a conclusion or any real progression at all.
On that note, am I the only one who thought that Zip was going to be Hitch's new deputy? Like, look at the scenario. We have a sheriff who just fired his one deputy. He is running the entire town by himself. There is now an opening in the sheriff's office. Zip shows up and starts living in Maritime Bay. She desperately wants to be a detective, but her position is never official. She is literally just playing detective throughout the series like a child. So why wouldn't Hitch give Zip a badge and enlist her as his new official detective and deputy? Plus, I'm sure this would give plenty of shipping fodder for all those who love the idea of these two ending up together.
Oh, Hitch, how far you've fallen. I've already discussed numerous times how this character was downgraded from the movie when Make Your Mark started, so I'll keep it brief. In the movie, he was a hyper-focused, obsessed law pony that made him entertaining and a funny character, but still left room for him to be kind and compassionate to his friends and all other ponies. In the series, he's an anxious, apprehensive law pony that rarely ever performs his profession. He still displays kindness and compassion, especially when he becomes a dragon dad, even introducing the plotline that he would have to give up Sparky Boom Man for the benefit of his growth, yet that didn't happen, and taking all that into account, it doesn't really lead to anything, and Dragon Dad Hitch is barely dissimilar to the start of the series.
And then there's Izzy, the fan favorite from the movie, being the most adorable and lovable pony that you just can't help but want to give a hug to. Yeah, she's incredibly annoying and stupid now. Like, she wasn't the brightest in the film, but her obliviousness to the world around her never felt forced, and it was always endearing in some way. Here, however, she's just being dumb for the sake of being dumb. It's not funny, and it's not cute. One of the things that caused a lot of people to not like Pinkie Pie was just how over the top and chaotic she was. I saw a lot of those people talking about how much they loved Izzy because she had a similar personality to Pinkie, but wasn't as disruptive and annoying in the movie. In Make Your Mark, however, she really is just a Pinkie Pie clone, but with zero of the charm and all of the annoyances.
And now that the Losers Club is out of the way, let's get to Best Pony of G5, Misty. Misty overall has had the most development over the course of Make Your Mark. She started off as Opaline's hench pony, wanting to do anything for a cutie mark. The introverted mare infiltrates Sunny and her friends and slowly learns about the joys and power of friendship, goes through logical phases of inner conflict of trying to play both sides, worrying about betraying both, but ultimately chooses friends over a cutie mark, eventually earning it organically, gradually becoming much more outgoing, and even reuniting with her father and standing up to her oppressor.
And unlike the other characters in this show, once she finished her arc, her character wasn't done. There was more conflict and more development to be had in later episodes regarding her father and, like you mentioned, confronting Opaline. This is really the main thing you need in order to make a character interesting. Some sort of arc tied in with some conflict. Something that our final and what should be most important main character does not have.
Thus, we go from the main character with the most development to the one with the least. Sunny Star Scout. In the movie, Sunny was the logical protagonist. She, along with her dad, had an affinity for the old days, with every pony united, which sets up her character as an activist to see those days once again. Thus, she goes on a worldwide adventure to reunite the three races, not only for her sake, but for the memory of her father as well. and is ultimately successful, even becoming the pseudo-alicorn. In Make Your Mark, while her base personality is the same, by the second half of the series, maybe even earlier, she really has no character and is whatever the plot demands her to be. She doesn't feel involved and is just kind of there until the end of the series when she finally decides to take charge and fight Opaline. In the first chapter, she is completely passive about the possibility of magic being lost forever and everybody hating each other again, despite the fact she literally just went on a grand adventure to reunite the world. There was also a potential arc with Sunny learning to harness her alicorn abilities, but she just figures it all out in a single episode and just has a handle on the whole thing, never improving her craft. Otherwise, she's just a positive activist that's just there.
If I had to guess, I would say that it looks like they had a plan for Sunny to be an activist throughout the show, solving societal problems, but the writers realized after the movie that Sunny has achieved her goal, and there is nothing left to do. They couldn't have her keep solving racism over and over, as that would get incredibly lazy and repetitive, so they weren't left with much. Again, I wasn't in the writer's room when all this went down, but just going off of speculation, I would say that this is how we go from Sunny having a truly admirable goal to roller skating through the town saying, "You guys gotta eat more vegetables!"
So I guess that wraps it up and, oh, yeah, there's Sparky Boom Man. He's annoying, he does nothing, I hate him. Enough said. Oh wait, except for the fact that suddenly in Chapter 6, his transformation magic makes him really special. He is suddenly the Chosen One. He is Neo, he is the Kwisatz Haderach. It just comes out of nowhere, and worse off, he is the one who ultimately defeats Opaline. You know, instead of characters that have real past stakes like Sunny or Spike or Misty, you know, ones who have actual history with the evil alicorn? Which then leads us to our next section. Terrible villains. G4 had a lot of great villains, from Discord to Chrysalis and Nightmare Moon, just to name a few. They had unique personalities, great charisma, great looks, but they could also be quite intimidating with their various abilities. But what made them interesting was the fact that, much like the main six, they were multi-dimensional characters. They had goals and aspirations, not just being evil for the sake of evil and wanting to take over the world.
And then we cut to G5, where we have an evil for the sake of being evil alicorn villain who is just so bad at being a villain that she can't accomplish her goals when the main characters don't even know she exists. I have often said that Opaline is one of the worst villains I have ever seen, but after spending literal hours trying to come up with a more terribly written villain, I genuinely think I can safely say that she is the worst villain I have ever seen. Not one of the worst, not one of the top 10, number 1. Never ever seen anyone as poorly written as her. She's not a threat for 99% of the series, her plans all fail miserably, make zero sense, she has no depth, isn't fun to watch, ruins so much lore and world building, and just plain is ugly. And somehow, we're supposed to believe that this thing defeated Princess Twilight. Bull crap!
Exactly. You're telling me that years ago, fully realized Alicorn Twilight, along with her friends and the combined alliances of every creature, were not enough to stop Opaline. This is the group of friends and more that stopped this, this, and this. And finally fighting all three at once. Yet could not stop this Alicorn.
Where are you, Gertrude? My favorite main brush. She's so precious to me.
Missed!
Kenny! Steven! Like, snaps a lot!
It's lazy at its best and insulting at its worst. Opaline may as well be a cardboard cutout, as it's not until chapter 4 that she actually starts to enact her plans. But the problem is, by that point, it doesn't matter. Her name doesn't cause her foes to shiver with fear. As you said earlier, no one outside our main cast knows who she is.
It is I, Opaline Arcana, about to turn this night into a nightmare spectacular!
Oh, Hooves, that was so cool!
Amazing!
Do the laugh again! Do the laugh again!
What?
Oh, and her power throughout this series is completely inconsistent. We never know specifically what powers or what limitations she has. And even later when she gets supposed phenomenal cosmic powers, other than her tentacle hentai attack, her magical abilities are basically the same as when she went up against Sunny. In the end, Opaline sucks. So that's about it for our villain section, so let's move on to... Oh wait, I almost forgot. There was that Laura character. You know, that villain who's totally forgetful. I am just going to simply repeat the gag from my Chapter 6 review, as once again, this image perfectly captures my disappointment of this new evildoer. I weep for the future of Tell Your Tale. Moving on.